Ready?
Hi, Angela.
Hi, Kylie.
Cool. I'm going to ask you 5 questions today. So the first question is, what do you do and how long have you worked in hospitality?
Okay, so I'm actually currently a community manager. This is a very in term right now, community manager, but actually equivalent to a front office manager. So I've actually been in this line for since 2009. So that's about 11 years, or almost 11 years already. So yeah, that's about how old I am.
Okay, you're 11 years old
You
in the industry.
count
In the
backwards.
industry.
Yeah, you do your own sums.
Okay. So, Angela, what drew you into hospitality in the first place?
Okay, mine is actually, thankfully, I knew what I wanted to do from a very young age.
Mhm.
So I was 16 when I actually found out what I wanted to do. Lucky for me, just finished O levels. Most kids after O levels just want to go and play. I don't know why I was so kanchong. The day after O levels, I already got a part-time job. So I started working in a cafe, quite popular one downtown, and I actually enjoy it a lot. So much so that I actually asked my manager to let me work from opening to closing. That's about a 12-hour shift, and I worked about 5 to 6 days a week. So I did that straight for about 4 months, and then came the time when I had to decide what I want to do in my life. So that was when I applied for poly, and yeah, so I decided I wanted to do tourism. But how I knew I wanted to do tourism actually during this job, right? I mean, cafe there's a lot of service, it's a lot of walking and a lot of labor, but um, there's also this satisfaction when you receive guest compliments, and I knew I did a good job when I started getting more compliments than my manager. And I even had several companies coming to me asking me if I want to work full time with them, and I told them I'm 16, and they say never mind, it's okay. But I said no, I cannot. I have to go and study first. So yeah, so at least I knew that I had potential. So I think I decided, okay, this is what I really want to do for at least the rest of my life. I mean, that was what I thought then. Yeah. So then I started this tourism studies, and that's when my life began.
Cool. Okay. So, maybe for the rest of your life, right? Maybe
Well,
your own cafe.
yeah, that could be it. Yeah.
Mm,
I
okay.
mean, I love coffee anyway.
Oh, okay. Cool. So maybe the next thing to learn is how to make coffee, right?
Yeah, just not a three in one kind of.
Mm-mm. Yeah, the proper pour over coffees. Okay, cool. Angela, the next question I want to ask is, can you describe to me what is one of your most memorable incident at work to date?
Eh, okay. There are actually, I have two things to say about this. I would say medical emergencies actually is one of the most memorable one. It may not be a good thing, but it's something that really stays with you when it happened, because could be traumatizing, and second is when the whole incident is over, then you actually realize how how well you did, the effort that you put in, and then the people that you actually interacted with during this period. These are things that you will never really forget because it's very hard to come by. So medical emergency, I had this one guest when I was on duty as a duty manager. Uh, the call center received a call that the guest was actually having a heart attack in this room. So when we heard that, we straight away called the ambulance, and the security team and I, we ran to his room and activated the defibrillator and waited for the ambulance to come. I mean, it can be quite a simple thing, but when you are there watching a person dying, it is not an easy thing to do actually. You could actually just be rolling a dead body out in 5 minutes time, something like that. So yeah, that's quite memorable for me actually. Um, but what's a good memory that will always stay is the lives that you touch when you're working in the places that you work. You watch people grow up, you watch families grow bigger, you watch their kids go to school, you talk to them, you find out about their friends, and it's quite inspiring to actually know that you're doing a good job, and parents actually trust you with their kids when they go shopping, you know. They just know that you will do your job. So I think all this kind of friendship that we've made during my time in hotel line, I think these are something that I can never forget. Yeah, and I do have guests who became friends that even after I left the job I was at, um, we are still friends now. We still meet up, we still chat, we visit each other on the holidays. I think that's very nice. Yeah.
That's very heartwarming. Yeah, I think it's really one of the most touching things to actually forge the kind of friendships with your guests, because from a
Yeah.
professional setting, you actually made it social, and um, it became a private relationship even. That's really
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, this is one of the reasons why I stay by what I do
Mm.
in hospitality, even though, I mean, the amount of labor is really not worth it to a lot of people. But for me, this is what I live for.
Mm, cool. Okay. The next question for you would be, what would be one thing you would like to keep in this industry, and one thing you would want to change in the future of hospitality?
Mm, okay, the thing that we must keep is the human touch. So you know how, I mean, this whole COVID thing, it's changing the whole industry. So many people is turning into robotic systems for room service, for front office. Nobody really wants to. I mean, and even manpower is such a big problem now that companies are going very lean. Such to even have hotels in this world run 24 hours by robots. The thing about this is that there's so many people traveling, and in order for a travel to attain 100% experience, right, you need to have a touch of the human. So I hope this is something that we keep, to have this human touch, to not let go of that. Yeah. One thing
Okay.
that I hope we can change. Mm, okay, so the pay scale for hoteliers is really, really, I wouldn't say it's great. So I I I mean, it's a really good job. It's very professional. You meet all kinds of people. But after a few years, some people will be asking why they're putting so much effort in something they're not being paid much for. So that's something I wish we could change. I mean, I really think hoteliers work very hard, and they do deserve a better pay scale. Yeah. Another thing is, I think hotels don't really need to be so strict in the hair color and nail colors. Now at this generation, this time, it doesn't really matter as long as you look good. Though.
Okay. Angela, I just want to touch on the point where you mentioned about the pay scale of hoteliers.
Mm.
So, if I were to give you the power to change the pay scale of hoteliers, how much more do you think they should be paid, and how would you justify that?
Mm, hang on. Actually, I think in general, for from the front line, I mean the rank and file, the pay scale I think can increase up to 25% at least, because in order to be competitive with the rest of the industry, I think we really should try at least at entry level to be at the same as everyone.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I can study hospitality, but there are at least half of my classmates who will decide not to do hotel line because the pay scale is better elsewhere. Uh, I mean, it's I would say it's not a very intellectual job. I mean, some people may think it's not a very intellectual job because it's a lot of labor. But I would say not everybody who is very study smart will be able to succeed in this kind of line, because you have to be very street smart. And if you are not that, but you're not study smart, and then you get a pay scale of lesser than those who are study smart, I think that's not very fair. I mean, this is my take.
Okay, excellent. I think that answer is very justifiable. And I think a lot of us would agree as well. Okay. Yes, I actually also do think that the hair colors and the nail colors can really just relax a little bit as well. I mean, we've got to move on with the time, so it would be cool, or actually a lot better if we could have a personality, our own
Yep.
personality shine, right?
Yeah.
And not hidden. Of course, as long as you're neat, we don't want to be unkempt because we have to look professional. Okay. That's
Right.
very nice. Thanks for sharing that, Angela. I think that's very poignant. Okay, so this is going to be my favorite question actually in the whole interview, but I would like to know what is your core value that you have lived by in the last 11 years of your career?
Mm, okay. So one thing that I've always adhered to, no matter which job I go to, is to do what you love. Because I feel that if there is a job that I do not enjoy, I'm only going for it because it pays me well, then there's no point because I'm wasting my time not enjoying what I do. I spend 8 hours there and I don't enjoy the 8 hours. Um, I don't I don't enjoy the job, which means that I may not do very well in this, which means um, I mean career progression is not gonna be slower than before, I guess. Um, but why would I want to do something that I don't enjoy? I mean, why can't I do something that I love? And it won't be like working. You just be like so happy going to work and so happy going home and telling people the stories that you've created today. Um, and there's so many stories that you can create every day, and it's all different stories. So yeah, do what you love. Don't let the your environment affect you.
Thank you. That's really inspirational and touching. Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you.